That proscenium arch came from a film called Saltburn that I was in. Nick is not going to be able to leave my house. I'm keeping him here.
Tell us a showbiz story, that's what I'd love to.
I'll
DJ for you. How about we do that?
This is on record. Okay. Yes, please.
Hi and welcome to Roots. I'm Jo Whiley and this is where we meet our great RHS gardening heroes. We talk about what their gardens mean to them, why they love it so much, the plants they love and the plants they hate. Today I'm in Richmond. I'm in this stunning garden and very excited to meet one of the UK's greatest and most loved actors, Richard E. Grant. Let's go and meet him. Oh my gosh, what a garden, what a garden, what a man to be greeting. Hello.
How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. I don't think I've ever been in a garden that has so many stories and is such a place of interest before. What a wonderful, wonderful place you've created.
Oh, thank you. It's stuffed with props, and every job that I go on, every film I'm on, I go to the production department and try and buy or bribe my way to get props or pieces of stuff.
So your life and your work is here with you at all times, isn't it? You're surrounded by it.
Exactly, yeah.
I'm particularly loving the balls behind us. Tell us the story while we're here in this position now of where these balls came from, your baubles.
They were in a shop window display of a well-known perfumery brand in England. And after Christmas, I said, what's happening to all of these? And they said, oh, we think we're getting rid of them. And I said, could I buy them all? And they said, no, we'd be grateful if you could take them off us. So I got all of them.
Wow.
And I like Christmas, as you can see. So
yeah.
These Christmas lights are on every day, all year, day and night.
Beautiful. And how did they get there?
Oh, I have no fear of heights, so just got a ladder.
You did it yourself?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. And that kind of ties in that it's a perfumery because you love your scents and you've got your own scents. Tell us a little bit about that. Is it Jack?
Yeah, it's called
Jack.
Jack. When I was 12 and I was living in Swaziland, where I grew up, which is now called Eswatini, I tried to make perfume out of gardenia and rose petals boiled up in sugar water for an American girl that I was absolutely mad in love with called Betsy Clapp with a double P. And, it just turned into 6 stink bombs. And then, 45 years later, Anya Heinmarsh was a fellow house guest on holiday in the Caribbean, and she saw me smelling and touching everything, and she said, you should do something about this. And I said, what, psychiatrically? And she said, no, you should make your own perfume. So I then spent 6 months trying to do this.
How did you do it? What did you do?
Well, I got all the ingredients that I wanted because I love cooking. So it's the same process that I took lime, mandarin and marijuana and put these oils into a combination mixture. And then I got in contact with a professional French nose in Paris called Aliona Massenet. And together we worked for 6 months backwards and forwards until the scent was exactly as I had imagined it in my head. And then launched it at Liberty, and it won awards and became a bestseller. So that's how it started.
How wonderful, yeah. So you've always been drawn to scent. So this garden, I presume, is a garden of scent.
Oh, I wish it's evergreen for the most part. So only roses are the only thing that are scented, and honeysuckle.
Is there no gardenia in here?
It's too cold.
Is that so?
I've got them indoors.
Yeah. But it's dictated by the environment where you are, what you've been able to do in the garden.
I think gardenia is it's the holy grail of scent for me, because it's the one white flower that so far has defied all industrial extraction. So the fact that every gardenia that's on the market is an invented one rather than the real thing makes it even more holy grail-like for me. So I think it's the most erotic smell on the planet.
My friend I was talking to, my producer, my radio producer, was saying that she was walking through Selfridges once and you were there and you were spraying people with your scent. That you were actually hands-on, like, would you like to try this? Would you like to try this? And you were spraying people. So
I was.
The passion is deep and you were selling your product, obviously.
I know. They give you a week to go and launch your product. So I did that about 8 years ago.
Yeah. How wonderful. Are you developing any more scent? Where are you at with
I am.
perfumes?
I've done Jack, the original one with the lime, marijuana and mandarin, and then I did Jack Covent Garden, Jack Piccadilly 69, and then Jack Richmond. So they're all in London with stories that are related to my life.
Yeah. Just remind us why they're called Jack, or tell us why they're called Jack.
Oh, because I didn't want them to be, I wanted the packaging to be pillar box red, and that it would be something quintessentially British rather than trying to pretend that you're French and
Right.
all that. I find it very embarrassing when you read the notes on perfumes when they say, well, there was a swish of a tiger's tail when I was walking with my aunt in the Himalayas, and this reminded me of, I find all that very embarrassing. So when somebody saw at Liberty said the pillar box red, and it comes in a Union Jack calico bag inside, they said, why don't you call it Jack? So I thought, well, and then I found out how many, because it's unisex, whether there were, how many women are called Jack, and I found there are a fair number. So
really?
that's
So no pretension, just a beautiful sense.
yeah.
Okay, well, can we have a wander around? Can I see the rest of your garden? Because there must be so many stories, and I would love to find out so much more. There's something over there that's catching my eye.
Okay.
Over there that's catching my eye. So should we wander?
This way.
Okay.
Okay.
Hang on, Richard, tell me, where are we now? What are we going under? We've got candelabras above our heads, and we've got pillars.
These prop columns came from a film called Persuasion that I was in with Dakota Johnson. So at the end of those, I snaffled them off and said, could I have them? So that's why they're here.
That's why they're there.
Exactly.
And behind us, just talk us through what we have behind us. I can see Barbra.
Barbra Streisand, yes. That proscenium arch came from a film called Saltburn that I was in. And,
that film, that little film.
That one that shocked some people. And at the end of it, there was a big outdoor party scene for Barrick Yogan's character's birthday. And I said, could I possibly buy that afterwards? And they said, no, it's all going to be scrapped and dumped because storage costs too much. So I said, could I have it in the garden? So they did. And I'd already commissioned a 2-foot tall sculpture of Barbra Streisand's head. So it's now given a proscenium arch for her, and she's seen the pictures of it.
No, tell me about the conversation. So how did you've obviously told her.
Oh, I've been a lifelong obsessive
Okay.
Streisand fanatic, and you're supposed to grow out of this phase, when you reach adolescence, which clearly I'm still stuck at. And so I was at Donna Karen's house in the East Hamptons 6 years ago, and I said I had a one-to-one conversation this close to Barbra Streisand, and I said at the end of it, I have something to confess, and she said, what's that? I said, I've commissioned a 2-foot tall sculpture of your head, favouring your left profile, which is what she likes to be shot from, for my garden. And she said, you're crazy. And I said, yes, I know that. You know that. And she said, no, you are really crazy. I don't know anybody else that has commissioned a statue like that. So she's seen it, not in person yet. I live in hope. So that's why it's here. And my late wife, I said when we got married, you are going to have to live like somebody else famously said, there are 3 people in this marriage. And she said, that's absolutely fine, because she was also a fan, not to my level of obsession, of Streisand as well.
But it was you, Joan and Barbara, the threesome.
Yeah.
What was Barbara's reaction when she saw this? I know not in the flesh, but when you showed her the picture, what did she say?
She thought that it was a very accurate representation of her profile.
Oh my gosh. So this, you're crazy. You're absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, she's a massive gardener herself, isn't she?
She's
She's obsessed with roses.
As you know, because you interviewed her.
I interviewed her, and she was just talking about roses and what they meant to her a lot for a long time. But what about you and gardening? Do you have a gardener?
No, I do it.
You're the gardener?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I love mowing the lawn once a week, and I planted, because where I grew up in Swaziland, the season changes weren't as dramatic as they are in England. So I wanted not something but all dead in the winter. So I planted as much evergreen as possible. So yew and box, as you can see, and ivy are the things that I have.
Yeah. And this garden must have so many happy memories. I mean, for you and Joan, you spent a lot of time in this garden.
Yeah, we did. She was absolutely loved gardening as well as I did. And up until, I suppose, the age of 30, I never really thought about gardens, because I grew up with a beautiful garden where I was born, but I never thought of making a garden myself. So I thought, well, what are the evergreen plants? So I went to the Encyclopedia
Britannica,
RHS
the RHS.
and then found that box, yew and ivy were the things that would look good all year round.
So what was it like when you came here? So was it just a blank canvas?
This acacia tree was still alive at that point,
Oh.
and it died, and it looks like something out of Sleepy Hollow. So I planted ivy all the way around it rather than taking it down. You can hang baubles from it. So, and all the trees on that side I got from a nursery in Surrey, and had them trucked in because there was nothing.
Yeah.
So.
Wow. And are you quite hands-on with digging and putting the trees in, or
Do everything, yeah.
Literally do everything yourself? Yeah. Okay. And the rest of the I mean, I have to have help to do this. You don't have help. Is it helpful for you mentally? Is it something that you physically really enjoy doing?
I think going in the garden every day and doing something, because it's constant maintenance, as you know, from having a garden. And I spent an absolute fortune on box plants and replacing them because of the dreaded box moth caterpillar that came into the country about 10 years ago. So
we're going to get you some advice about that. We have an expert, so I'm going to give you some advice about that.
Yeah. Thank you.
And in terms of, I mean, I'd imagine, obviously you love a party, so you must have had some amazing parties here.
Yeah, we have a Halloween party here every October for about 120 people. So, and that pergola outside is really good for dancing and feeding people.
Yeah, tell me about the pergola. Where did that come from?
I basically bribed 4 carpenters to come from Gloucestershire, and I said I'd cook for them and put them up if they could do that in 4 days for a Halloween party 4 years ago. And so
it's a last minute idea of like, suddenly I want a pergola.
They did, yeah. And now it's a great place to sit because there's a fire inside, and you can sit there most of the year.
Because
keep warm.
Quite often that's the problem, isn't it? You've got a garden, but you want to entertain, but our climate is not amazing for that. So that's an extension of the house, and it's a part of the social hub. Yeah,
and it's more because I'm a hoarder collector. I could put more and more stuff in there.
And who have you had around that fire? What kind of? Tell us a showbiz story. That's what I'd love to hear. Who have you entertained here?
Minister McCarthy, Meryl Streep, Paul Rudd, Mira Sayal, who else? Steve Martin, Martin Short, Catherine O'Hara, the late great. Lots of people.
Yeah. And it's
I've been around so long. People I've worked with, come around.
And what happens? So do you drink? Do you play games? Do you just have great conversation?
So
really?
They drink, and I love cooking and barbecuing as well. So I like entertaining.
Yeah. So good conversation into how late into the night? What's the latest you've been in this garden entertaining, talking to people?
5 a.m. and dancing, and because there's a graveyard over the wall, you can play music pretty loudly here, and in the kitchen, so there'd be no complaints.
So loudspeakers out there. What kind of music? Who do you like? I mean, I'm a music person, so I'd love to know.
Everything from, I suppose, Motown onwards to now.
Yeah.
And our daughter got married here in the garden under a marquee a year ago, so we had a brilliant DJ who played everything from all the stuff that you know about. I'm not going to embarrass myself by naming names.
It feels like a very happy garden.
Oh, it is, yeah.
Yeah, it's seen a lot of living in this garden.
It has, hugely.
And when you lost Joan, was it a place of solace for you as well? Did it help?
It was, and she said to me, please bury my ashes under a cherry tree. And I said, yes, I would do that, but I've not brought myself to do that yet, because rationally I understand that that's what she wanted, but emotionally I sort of feel that even this box of ashes that I've got is the last thing that I physically have of her. So I haven't buried them because I thought, well, if I leave this house, then I can't take the ashes with me.
And you have to have her with you at all times. Where is she now?
In a box inside the house.
Yeah. I don't blame you.
Yeah.
We lost that. This is not comparable to you losing Joan at all, but we lost our dogs, and we had a tree planted last year, and it was really lovely to have them beneath that tree and to know that they're feeding that tree. But I completely understand that if you were to leave, then you can't leave her behind.
I sort of feel like I would do,
Yeah.
Which is stupid, I know. It doesn't really make sense.
At all. No. And you've got new life coming here as well.
Yeah.
Like this garden is going to turn into the next chapter.
Yeah, our daughter's having a baby in June. So, and because she and her husband chose to come and live here a couple of years ago, I now live this communal life. So I'm a concierge, basically. Do the garden, cook, shop, which I love.
Yeah, of course. But it's gone from being silent. You were saying earlier on that it was just your own footsteps that you were hearing.
Yeah, the first year of being a widower, you because it's a big house, that I was very conscious of only hearing my own footsteps in the house. And then, a couple of years later, Olivia said, well, we're all stuck together in COVID, and during the last 9 months of Joan's life, could we come and live with you? And I said, well, let's just try for a year and see how that goes. So they brought their cat, and now they're having a baby. So we live communally.
Yeah, just loads of footsteps, and you're going to have little ones running up and down this garden. It's just,
Yeah.
You're going to have, will you have like a slide and a trampoline? Can you actually,
Everything.
Can you do that?
Everything.
Okay, you'll embrace that stage
Yeah.
as well. What else? Are there any other props? I can see in front of me now, what is that? A little shed, it says?
Yeah,
Oily Cottage.
It says Oily Cottage, yeah, because our daughter is officially called Olivia, but because before she was born, we knew we were having a daughter. And my wife said, with your long face and your long torso, what do you think our child is going to look like? And I said, olive oil. So we started calling her Oily, and it stuck. So that shed is called Oily Cottage.
She used to play in there, I presume, and that
She
was
used to
her
play in
little
there. It
den.
has a little vegetable garden in front of it, which is now a fountain. And so it's now a tool shed.
Are there any other props in here that you've stolen from sets and films that you've done before?
Not stolen.
No, sorry, that you bought.
I have bought.
And they gave to you.
Great expense. There are 2 plinths either side of the front door from Gladiator. I was working at Shepperton, and I saw these plinths on a skip, and I went to the manager and I said, if I hire a van, could I? And he said, well, he's no longer there.
No.
So he can't get fired. So yeah, they came from Gladiator, which sadly I wasn't in, but I have the 2 Gladiator plinths outside my house.
And then what's your favourite part of the garden? Where do you enjoy being more than anything?
I like sitting in that pergola because there's a fire in there, and you're outdoors, but you're indoors at the same time.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the back of the house, is that wisteria that you have there?
That's wisteria, yeah.
What colour is it?
Purple.
Oh, how amazing.
And it flowers twice a year, and the scent is it's going right across the entire front, the border of the garden. So it smells amazing. I'm sorry there's nothing to see now or smell.
No, but the scent is there, and that's really important to you. Right, do you want some advice about your box?
Yes, please.
Okay, fine.
Please.
For some reason that sounds rude, but I'm going to get some advice for you. Right, we're going to go in this direction. Nick is waiting.
Okay.
Okay, Richard, I would like you to meet our expert, RHS garden expert.
Hi, Richard.
This is
Nice to
Nick.
see you.
Thank you, Nick.
He knows a thing or two about box, and he's about to help you. What's your problem?
Those box caterpillars stuff.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
you know what I love about box? It smells like fresh armpit.
Yeah, I know you said that. I've never tried that. I'm going to have a little go because just that.
Fresh armpit.
Yeah,
which
before it
doesn't
goes
sound
off.
great, but actually,
It's
that
really
is quite
good.
nice, isn't it? I've never actually tried that before.
I love that
yeah,
smell.
Yeah,
I love
I'm
that
with
smell.
you on that one. Yeah.
So, yeah, what's the problem? What's happened to your box?
Do you get
Well,
box blight, or is it the box tree caterpillar?
It's the box tree caterpillar that came from Southeast Asia,
Yeah.
10 years ago?
At least, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it
yeah.
just comes
and it
in.
just completely decimates
It's those
everything.
yellow
the
and
caterpillars,
green,
Yeah.
beautiful looking caterpillars.
lovely caterpillars, but a lot of
but
them.
a lot of them.
Yeah.
And they can decimate things.
Yep.
So what do I
Yep.
do?
Well, the only thing you really can do, it's a bit like, you have to approach them a bit like slugs. So
Okay.
there's no point trying to spray anything. Nature is only just starting to get used to them because they've only been in the country 10, 15 years.
Right.
So at first, nobody really knew what to do, like the birds, and they thought, what's this? But now starlings, magpies, blue tits are starting to think,
Lots of
"Ooh,"
magpies here.
which is good because they might start eating them. I mean, it's sort of anecdotal. We haven't done the research, but from what we're hearing,
Yeah.
a lot of people have seen them, and wasps will eat them as well, which is great. But
So
otherwise,
there is a point to wasps. There is a
indeed,
point to
indeed,
wasps.
I know. Isn't it great when you see one flying, you take one of those off, and you think, hey, yeah. But otherwise, it's really just a case of getting out there, like
Going
you do with
around
the
there.
slugs,
Yeah.
picking them off. I mean, they don't, they're
And
not
eating them.
fast. Well, maybe someone should, develop a recipe that,
Yeah.
because there's always plenty.
I'd gladly do that.
And the problem is that they'll have more than one generation in one season. So like they'll start off in sort of March, April time, and you see them all, eating away, and you think, right, okay, out there, taking them off. But then in a few months' time, they can have another generation of caterpillars. So it's a tricky one. But there are lots of box alternative plants
What?
now. So there's a euonymus. I mean, there's a Wisley. We've got a whole garden just dedicated to box alternatives because it's such a big problem. So many people have had problems.
Yeah.
So there are loads of, clipped. It's quite a formal look. So you've got low hedges and shapes and all sorts, but none of it is box.
It's euonymus.
So there's euonymus green spire.
Okay.
That looks, I think, the closest to box.
And you can topiary it.
You can clip it. You've actually got some in this garden. I've just seen it.
Really?
You've got some in this garden, and it looks exactly like box. But that's, I think, trying to outwit it, basically.
Yeah.
So either you get out there, pick the caterpillars off, or you just think, right, okay, clearly it's going to love box, so let's go with something else.
And you do the topiary yourself? Is that you're out there?
Do everything myself? No, I don't do that. I've got a little
like an
steel.
yeah, they're nice. Yeah, that's it. Little hedge trimmers. Yeah, they're good. Yeah,
they're
nice.
It just takes 1 day to do it.
Yeah. And it's quite a satisfying job, I think.
It's incredible. It's like giving your whole garden a haircut.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
I love that.
And I love the bit you've got over there where you've kind of created clouds.
Yeah.
That creates movement. I think that looks really nice, rather than just a straight formal.
You can come
Yeah.
down.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Has that helped, Richard?
Yes, it has.
Good. Thank you, Nick. Thanks
So
very
unfortunately,
much.
it's just vigilance. Yes.
Okay. And when it comes to
Nick is not going to be able to leave my house. I'm keeping him here.
blight. Tell us about box blight.
Well, so
Yes.
box blight is completely different because that's a disease.
Okay.
So that means that if the conditions are right, i.e. warm and humid, then there's a chance you'll get box blight.
Okay.
But it's not as bad as, so this area, this garden is quite enclosed. You've got lots of other, so it prevents airflow coming through. So if you've got warm, humid conditions, you've got spores in the air, they land on the leaves. It's like a little petri dish. They're going to start to grow. But if you've got the ventilation drying those leaves, then box blight is less likely to actually start coming to revision. But do you ever have box blight? Is it just the caterpillar? Yeah. So that's good. So that means that, and then you've got good circulation, there's plenty of ventilation.
Yeah.
So it's not as bad. It's the caterpillar really that's the one that gets everybody.
Euonymus.
Euonymus green spire.
Yeah.
Euonymus.
I find that's the one
If
that
you say
works
so.
very nicely. Yeah.
Nick, thank you very much indeed.
You're
That was
very
fabulous.
welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm so grateful. Thank you.
Take care.
Should we go and see euonymus?
Yes.
I'm so ready for this warmth to come into the pergola. Oh, this is such an amazing space. The view, the way everything's framed. And I was saying about the colour, there's threads of red and yellow and then the green, the contrast. It's just, there's such artistry to this garden.
Thank you. You can come anytime you want.
Well, I would love to come back again another time and be here at 4 a.m. chatting with you and being entertained. I'll DJ for you. How about we do that?
This is on record. Okay. Yes, please.
Fine, it's a date.
Okay.
Where do you get your inspiration from? Do you go to garden centres? Do you go to open gardens?
Garden centres, Kempton Antiques Market in Sunbury Racecourse, which is down the road from me, 20 minutes away, twice a month. Ardingly, Chelsea Flower Show every year. I've been going for 40 years.
I think I've seen you at Chelsea, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
You think you've seen me. I've seen you.
Oh, no, I hijacked you. I'm so embarrassed. I jumped on you at one point and I was like, please can I have a photograph? You had no idea who I was, so I'm sorry about that.
Yeah. You're harpooning for a compliment. Of course I know you. I followed your entire career. And so Hampton Court Palace, that
Which
one.
is amazing. I love
And there's
that
a new one coming this year at Badminton.
Of course,
It's the first, they had the horse trials there for years, and they're now having a flower.
And what do you know about it? Do you know anything about the show that's going to be happening? Because I know the RHS are really keen to get out and about and to have new shows in different areas, just because they want to encourage people to get into gardening.
Well,
so
badminton, it's such an extraordinary estate, and I think that and the gardens are incredible, and they've got around. It looks like a pond in front of an orangery, but it's a swimming pool as well.
My
You can
gosh.
swim all year because it's heated. So it's a magical place, and they've got cloud-shaped box plants surrounding all of it.
So it's an area you know really well.
Yeah.
It's going to be special.
Yeah,
So you'll be there.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
Yes.
And when it comes to, so you're going to a desert island and it's just going to be you. You can take 3 plants with you.
Yes.
Whether they'll grow or not on a desert island, I really don't know. But what would you take with you? What are your favourites?
Gardenia,
Of course.
peony, and tulips.
Beautiful. Any particular favourite tulips?
Parrot tulips.
I love parrot tulips.
Yeah.
Do you have them in your garden?
I do.
Oh, what colours?
The ones that are red and orange, and
Yes.
sometimes the red and white ones as well.
Oh, amazing.
Do you like that?
I love that. I love that. Yeah, I've got them in my garden as well. They're just extraordinary, aren't they? They're so exotic.
Yeah.
They're really beautiful. And what about when it comes to garden tools and implements? Do you love a tool?
I've got an electric lawnmower that I use, with batteries.
Yeah.
So you don't have the cord to cut through. And I've got a Stihl little hedge clipper that does all the topiary,
Yeah.
and spades and forks.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you were going to take
Pretty
one
simple.
to your island, what would it be?
Garden fork.
Garden fork.
Yeah.
Okay.
What would you take?
What would I take? Secateurs, I think. I don't know. I quite like weeding, so maybe it would be something. Do you like weeding?
No.
Do you not?
No.
I find it really cathartic, because if you're in a really bad mood, or if you're stressed about something,
Yeah.
and then you get in and you start weeding, at the end of the session you'll feel great. You don't have that feeling.
No. Mow the lawn instead. I like doing
Oh
that.
no, I don't like doing that.
You don't?
No. So what do you
Do you
get
think
out
it's
of
a,
mowing?
do you think that's a male thing?
I don't know. Maybe it's just a human thing. Why do you like mowing the lawn?
Because it feels like, when I've been away, because I'm film on location so often, I find that it's like animals being territorial. When you come back and you do the lawn, you get in those stripes. It feels like everything is in control again, and the scent of it is
Control
scent of
and scent. Yeah.
Control and
interesting.
scent.
Yeah, that's what you're all about.
Yeah.
Richard E. Grant. Thank you so much for having us around. It's been such a pleasure, such a treat.
Thank you
and
for having me.
I'm thoroughly
For coming.
inspired. We have a little thank you gift. Nick, who is our RHS garden expert, has brought something for you.
This is
Nick,
lovely out
Nick.
here, isn't it? I mean, look at this outdoor room.
You're going to go up in flames if you
I am
stand there.
going to
Do you
go.
want-
Right, shall I sit here? Is that
Yeah,
going to be
I
in the
would
wrong
do that.
place? Right, listen, okay, we have got
Wow.
rosemary. Look, I mean, isn't that the best, isn't it? Yeah.
That nose
Wow.
is straight in there.
You have to just, I've got some in
Oh
my
my
garden. Every time I
gosh.
walk past, I have to just,
Yeah,
any time of the year, it's always there, and I love that.
yeah.
We've got some
Thank you.
nice little long-nosed snips.
Yeah.
So when you're working at your desk,
Yeah.
and you come out and you snip a few little bits, put them in a little vase while you're working, it's lovely. It's a nice thing. It's quite, that you were saying about that sort of having really nice tools that work really
Yeah.
well.
I love these.
They're brilliant.
Wow,
They're
thank
quite
you.
delicate, and that's
Yeah.
really lovely. Look, we got your
So they're
lovely.
Japanese.
Yes, yeah, they're super sharp. Really, really
Okay.
good. Really nice. A lovely book, Gardening with Scented Plants.
Oh, thank
There we
you.
are. Look. Yes, I know. In smelling the inside of the book, is
Yeah.
that the thing? Yes. You see.
Oh, it smells so good. Smell that.
And
New
look, here we go.
pages,
Look.
yeah.
Romantic
wow.
garden.
Wow.
Loads of
This is a
Thank
ideas.
you.
fantastic book.
Loads of nice ideas, little scenes that you set up, which is pretty much what you've done in this garden, actually.
Do you sniff everything?
Everything.
Yeah.
Everything. I
I'm
sniffed
with
you the moment I met
I'm
you.
with you. I'm with you on that. Yeah.
I wore
yeah.
my scent today for you specially. I was
I
like, I'm
know.
just going to layer it up today.
Oh, I love it.
And a basket for putting all your plants and
Oh,
bits
my
and bobs in
gubbins.
for bringing inside. There
Thank
we go.
you. I
look.
feel like Little Red Riding Hood.
Can I
Thank
just
you
ask,
very much.
what
Yeah.
scent do you wear? What's your favourite scent that you wear? It'll be your own, won't it?
Yeah, it's lime, marijuana, mandarin.
Nice.
But the one I've got on today is Covent Garden, which is rose, ginger, carrot, and cedar.
Can I smell it?
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, it's lovely. Oh, and cedar. I can definitely smell the cedar. Thank you. And we've got a friend.
Oh, we've got a friend.
Yeah.
Oh, who's this?
This is Neo, and it's our daughter's cat. And he's a rag
Ragdoll.
doll with blue eyes.
We've
and
got one.
Very, very social
I love them.
and chatty. They talk a lot.
Yeah.
Have you found that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I love ours. Gorgeous. What beautiful face.
Thank you.
Not you, the cat.